Welcome, welcome, everyone. Welcome to Cut the Shit, Cue the Genius show 1,000,001 in 2024. And this is truly a special session and episode. And I feel like I'm gonna start crying. So thank God I have my waterproof mascara on and everything. Bruno, I don't know about you, but like this is a moment. And we are here purely to celebrate the godfather of event technology. Corbin Ball is with us, and he just announced his retirement this week. But we're not letting him go. So like we're going to keep on holding on to you as much as we can. Corbin, welcome to Cut the Shit, Cue the Genius show. Thank you for being with us.
Oh, thank you, Dahlia and Michelle. It's a pleasure to be with you. You're two of my favorite people in the industry, so I'm looking forward to staying.
Oh, you say that.
Oh, you say that to everyone. That's exactly right. So, so
because we're huggers.
So how does it feel to like retire, and how does it feel to take a look at like, you know, you're a legend and everybody, you know, it's interesting, like just looking at the comments when you did announce your retirement, and legend came as a comment, legacy, genius, godfather. I'm giving you that one because you are the godfather. Everybody had to kiss the ring. I'm telling you right now. But how does it feel? Like you are leaving such an amazing legacy.
It's a bittersweet feeling. I mean, it's time for me to cut back. I'm still going to be coming to occasional meetings, and you'll still see me around and still be making comments on social media and watching. This is an industry that I love. I have been in it for over 40 years, and I have, you know, it's we make the world a better place, and it's going to be you know, a bittersweet feeling to kind of be able to step back. I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to be traveling more and be doing, you know, volunteering activities and auditing classes and other things. So I'm going to be active, but I'm just going to direct my my energies in a little bit different direction. So I'm looking forward to it, but it's certainly with you know, very fond thoughts of my career in this industry.
Fantastic. Bruno, you had a couple of great questions that you had lined up for Corbin for the session.
I was first of all wondering, I mean, why event technology? Why not, you know, some other aspect of meetings that was calling your name? What was it that kind of piqued your interest?
Well, it started out, I mean, my first real, I'd worked in as director of audiovisual and educational media for a university, Western University, for several years. So I'd always been involved in technology. And my father managed a series of film chains, and some of my earliest memories are, you know, in projection booths and those type of things. And so, but it's I really moved over and started meeting planning in 1979 when I started working for SPI. It was at that time a very small engineering association, ran a couple of meetings a year. And during the time, the 18 years I worked there, we grew in staffing tenfold and grew to run the largest meetings in the world in optics. And they still are. They're still very, you know, very successfully doing that. And but engineering associations I was immersed with high technology. I was working with. I had a chance to meet and work with Nobel Prize winners. I saw these amazing technologies, but also engineering associations were the early adopters of technology. That we computerized the office in the mid 80s. I had my email address in 1988. In 1993, SPIE built one of the first association websites ever. At the start of 1993, there were only 130 websites total. So it was really, and I could, using these tools, you know, using the computer, and I started putting an emphasis, because we were growing so fast, we needed technology support to figure out how I could use technology to improve the business process of events. And so I was using Excel spreadsheets to do scheduling and event specifications and all these things. And um, but what really started me, when the web started developing, I could see the impact of that, the potential impact. That was a real game changer for me. And so, and I had become an experienced meeting planner running these huge international citywide technology meetings. But I wanted to, and I had joined MP. I became a CMP in 1988, as first in Washington State, and so, and I wanted to give back to this industry that I really loved, and so I decided in 1997 to leave SPIE and to create my own business. And I didn't know exactly I didn't know really what I was doing. I hadn't had any marketing experience or anything, but I decided that I'd give this a try. And if it didn't work, I'd always go back and do some more meeting planning. But that was, I guess, my desire to give back to the industry, to help meeting professionals deal with this huge wave of technology change that I could see coming, that was fueled by the web, that I started to go out and form my own speaking, consulting, and writing business.
And you nailed it, Corbin. I mean, your name is synonymous with anything that has to do with event technology. You're the go-to source. I mean, you are the legend. And we have a little clip from Liz Caruso because she could not be with us today. She is with family, and we're gonna play it for you right now. But you're gonna get a kick out of this one.
Okay.
It's Liz King Caruso. So excited to hear about your retirement for you. A little sad for us. I was just telling Dahlia that I'm so sorry I couldn't make it to today's live stream session, but I wanted to tell you this funny story. I'm sure you will never know this even happened, but many years ago, when I first started out in the industry, we went to a PCMA event, I believe, the conference, and they sent us to a U2 conference, U2 concert. And I was sitting directly next to you with my friend Ed, who everyone knows. And I was new to the industry, and he was laughing hysterically at me because I could not say hi to you. He was like, "You're acting like that's the Taylor Swift." And I'm like, "That's the Taylor Swift of the events industry." And you were sitting directly next to me, and I could not even bring myself to say hello. So that's how much of an impact you've had on the industry, and certainly on me. Thank you so much for all the resources, the constant education and support. I wish you all the best in your retirement. I know you're already a world traveler, so I hope you continue to do that. And thank you, thank you, thank you. You are an industry giant, and we are going to miss you at every event. Take care, and we'll see you soon.
Oh, thank you.
You are the Taylor Swift of our industry, Corbin. Woo! There you go.
I was just lucky. I was in the right place at the right time. I caught the technology wave, and I think that's what did it. I was just made a few good predictions, but I was just really able to catch that wave.
And everybody is in the comments. They're remembering the first time they saw you, met you, heard from you, and it's just like a magnet. So Sina has a very good question. What piece of technology is not used anymore that you miss? This should be a good one.
Oh, boy.
You don't say mobile app. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, it's. I think that I don't miss anything about the way meetings were in the past. When I started, it was completely analog. It was the state of the art of event technology was an overhead projector and a carousel slide projector. I mean, we typed out, and many listeners probably don't even know what an Orator font on an IBM Selectric typewriter was, but it was one you could change this ball to slightly change the size of the print so that we could type out badges with a little bit larger than a normal typewriter. And so, everything was analog. It was registration was, you mail it in and you print it out, and hand process it and mail off a confirmation. And I really don't miss any of those things. I think that generally event technology has done its job to streamline, make meetings more efficient, less expensive to do, more cost efficient to do that, and improve the attendee experience. So I can't think of really any technology that that I miss from that.
So you were one of the earliest influencers, what we would call influencers today. And you did something that was interesting that I had never seen before, and maybe this contributed to the way that you amassed a following, but you would always publish where you had been published on your website so people could go to those articles. And I'm sure you did a lot of other things, but I'm curious about how you built your following as an influencer, even though you might not have called yourself that.
Well, in 1997, I really didn't know how things were going to turn out, but my youngest child was moving away to go to college. I knew I could travel more, and I was a period of my life that just said, I can make a career change. And so I'll give this a try. And I started out by, throwing as many things on the wall and see what was sticking. I mean, speaking and writing, and started doing some consulting and some independent meeting planning. But I think one of the first things that I did was that I developed a technology program, and I had been active in MPI, and so I was a chapter president a couple of years before, and I contacted all the MPI chapter presidents. Says, I have this program that'll come to do it, and I'll only charge $100 and plus travel expenses, and so I think I did 20 chapters that year doing that. And it, I didn't make a whole lot of money, but I had saved money for that. But it helped me hone my speaking skills, get my systems all worked out, and that worked out. But the other key thing was then I just started writing lots of articles, and making content, and then developing a website to put that content in. And that was back in the days where you didn't have HTML editors. I mean, I had to build my entire website, hand coded with that. But I started getting some responses with that. And when people started seeing these articles, the publications contact me and say, "Hey, we'd like for you to write for us." And so I've written for, more than a dozen different publications over the years with that. But I did it with one condition. The condition was that I retained the copyright, and as soon as they published it, I could publish it at my website. And so essentially they were paying me to write articles for me to add content onto my website. And when I started doing that on a regular basis and writing at least an article a month, I said, this is time I can start doing a newsletter. And so using that content. And so then that started taking off. And first of all, it was just text-based, but then eventually turned over to web-based. And then event tech companies would call me and say, "Hey, we want to sponsor this." And so great, I'll put you in a side column here. And so they were really paying me for all the effort that I could do to create the content and maintain the newsletter and so forth. And so I think that those are the things that helped me build the following. I mean, the newsletter eventually grew to 25,000 attendees or subscribers, and it was, it was a success. And so I guess the other thing that helped me was that I was actively involved with MPI. I was able to get to know people on an international basis through them. And then I joined PCMA, and then I joined ICA, which really took my business international, because they're much more international than global than in the United States. And I also joined the National Speakers Association, which really helped me hone my speaking skills as well. So getting involved in the professional associations, I think, was a key route for me to help build my followers. And then also the social media channels as well. Right from the start, I started, anytime I would publish a channel, an article, I'd post that to my social media channels, and that was a way of doing it as well. So it all worked together. It's throwing those things and, trying all those things, and many of them worked.
Well, Corbin, I think you're very humble. And I think, to add on to like all the efforts that you've done and all the amazing, education that you brought to tons and tons of people, I would like to add on to that you are the most personable legend that I know. Your hugs and your smile and your warmth that you bring with every single time that we see each other, whether it's like the aisles in IMAX or whether it's online on Facebook or after one of your amazing presentations, I think that adds on to your charisma and your magnetism, and that's what I'm gonna miss the most. So I know I owe you a trip to Cairo.
I'd still love to do that. I've been there since then,
because we've been talking.
As one who has traveled with Dahlia, don't talk too fast.
So I think it was, where were we? Like in Dubai or something? And we're like, we need to, and we were there at an event speaking, and we're like, yeah, we need to take ourselves to Egypt. And I promised you a home cooked meal, as well as taking you for a shisha and coffee in the old bazaar. And I'm gonna take you and Margaret one day. Like,
I love that. Unfortunately, 9/11 came along when we had that scheduled, and then we had to reschedule. So that's been we're gonna do it for a long time, Dahlia.
And yeah, that it's long overdue. So tell us, from what you see right now in the event tech landscape. I mean, there's a lot of changes, but there's a lot of stuff that actually hasn't changed that much. So for us event profs, like, what would you give us as advice or lead us to say, this is what you need to focus on right now, like top 3 things, and so that we can get out of our own way and that we can like move, this industry forward in the pace that it should be, because I feel like we're just regurgitating the same old. I look at some of your articles. You've been talking about AI and IBM Watson since 25 years ago. I'm not dating you or anything, but like, oh, come on already. So this is not something new. So what is your pure, like, no sugarcoating advice for us right now?
Well, I've always encouraged event professionals on both sides to embrace technology to improve the business process of events. The good news, and we have just seen some incredible changes over the years. The web technology and mobile technology, has revolutionized how we do things. And the good news, in the past, it's been, overwhelming. There were so many choices that it was just it was hard to sort through all the things. And I think that was one of the things I put a lot of my efforts on, is try to categorize and tell, just analyze which would be the best tools for a certain application and so forth. But the good news is, as technology advances, it continues to get easier to use. And I think that's the one piece of advice is to for event professionals is to get out and embrace artificial intelligence. This is a game changer on the scale that PCs and that the internet and the web and mobile technology have changed society in these past years, and it could be even a greater one. And so, and people say, well, take away my job. AI won't take away your job, but people who don't understand and embrace and use artificial intelligence will have their jobs taken away by those that do. I think that's what the issue is. And so, but the good news is it's easy, and you just get in there and start playing around with ChatGPT or go on to the PCMA event planning AI app. It's they're easy to use, and it can be very helpful. So I think that's the one thing I'd recommend is, keep your mind open about technology, to embrace it and use these tools as they come along to do your job better.
Okay. Bruno, what do you got?
I was thinking about some of the discussions that we had when we were, and Dahlia was also participating, the IBTM Tech Watch.
Yes.
Well, it's behind the scenes talks about, hey, is this really innovative or, not, or is it just, like nobody's going to use this and stuff like that. Those were some of the most exciting discussions that I've ever been engaged in. But I also was thinking about, when event technology companies would come to you and say, I have got this thing that is going to revolutionize the industry. What do you think? And you had to tell them, like, you know what, this is probably not going to go anywhere because either A, it's been done, or B, you don't have what it takes, or C, it's like too off the wall and our industry is not that advanced. What did you say to let them down easy?
I'll answer that question, but I did want to make a comment about the two of you participating with the EIBTM, originally EIBTM, Worldwide Technology Watch.
It went through a lot of BTMs, Corbin.
Yeah, I did it for 17 years, and it was, and when I started, we'd all fly to London and sit around. There was a group of 6 men. We'd sit around the table and do this, and I.
Oh, I wish I was there.
I said, this industry.
I wish I was there too.
Because this industry is, 70% women. We need to have female participation. So that's why I asked you two to come join us, and Stephanie Contiventi as well, to balance out and bring in. And I'm just so proud of you two and other women that come into the event technology space, because you are really making a difference. And so to answer the question about, a event tech entrepreneur that believed they had the greatest new thing, and I didn't agree. I felt it was my job. I always felt it was my job to share good ideas. And so I very happily sat down. I've sat through hundreds of event tech demos, and I'd freely give an hour of my consulting time essentially to hear what they had to say, because it made me do my job better with that.
Yeah.
But I tried to be kind, but I'd point out what I thought would be their differentiators, what made their products, stand out from the others if they had it, and what vertical market segments it would probably be best suited for. But I also would point out what I saw was the challenges and deficiencies. And if there's a real problem, with it, I tell them, I said, you're going to have a real challenge with this because you have, these different points here. And so generally people were very thankful, and often, some of the times they said, well, we want to hire on a consultant to help us go the next step. So that became an income stream as well.
Mm-hmm.
I think you're much nicer than I am, because I called her bullshit like right away. And I like to see a lot of startups, if they start using the word innovation, or like, you have never seen anything like this before, or we are the next thing, that's better than Cvent. I stopped them right there, and I called her bullshit right away. So yes, you are much nicer than I am, Corbin.
But I want to encourage people, and I think that, people that are going out there and trying to get into the space, it's a very crowded field, and some of the competitors are very well funded. So it's and so if I can help them, I always try to do so.
So we touch on the word innovation. And, and Bruno knows I'm very vocal about this, where I don't see any more innovative technology. No more. I see the ways that technology can innovate how planners or organizers use it, but I don't see any innovative technology. And it strikes me where, you have all these awards, you have all these categories, and you have all these like when technology defines themselves, they use the word innovation, but it's actually, I kind of think that it's not for them to say that they're innovative. I think it's their clients or the users that should say, this is how we innovatively use this technology, and share those examples. What are your thoughts? Like, what is the most innovative? Is there any more innovative event tech anymore?
Oh, I think so. I mean, I think that AI is going to open up a whole new wave of innovation that we are just starting to scratch the surface to. So I think that the rate of technology change is accelerating, and funneled in large part by what's happening with AI. And I don't think it's overhyped. I think that there's going to be some really significant ways that it can help event planners to run through piles of statistics and be able to find out the data points, and find out the ones, or to writing content, or checking for contracts, or this to brainstorm. There are just so many ways that this can open up to do it. So I think that there's a lot of each of these. I've noticed that there have been decades of technology change. In the 80s, it was the PC came into the office place. In the 90s is really when the internet and email took off. In the 2000s, it was the web that changed everything. In the 2010s, it was mobile technology that really drove a whole new wave of innovation. And I think this is going to be the decade of AI.
I have one last question. Do you think that the injection of venture capital and all this outside money into event technology companies has helped or hurt the innovation, the growth, the just impact that they've had? Because money came in and a lot of the companies didn't make it. So in hindsight now, do you think that sort of thing is a good thing?
I've seen companies grow with the injection. I've always thought that this is kind of there have been a number of cases where the injection of venture capital has not worked out well, and so that because they want to make an immediate oftentimes want to make an immediate profit or turn around, and so it's come in and really has torn apart some technology companies. You look, I mean, there are a number of them that it just didn't work out. But then I've seen some real successes as well to bring together, a comprehensive event planning technology platform that manages really every aspect of a meeting planning's job. Has been a good thing. They are more integrated that way. It's kind of a one-stop shopping that makes it easier for event planners. So it's been mixed feelings with it. Sometimes it's really torn apart. Others, they've allowed the people that were heading it to remain there and really keep running it. They're just putting more financial support for them to acquire other products and to do that. So it kind of makes for not really a monopoly, but it does kind of skew the landscape in terms of what companies grow and what companies don't thrive.
Yeah, and also when large companies come in and start buying up all the really good smaller standalone apps, I always feel a little sad about that. I mean, maybe it's good overall, maybe not, but if you're using something that you just really loved and all of a sudden it's part of a giant group, how do you feel about that?
Well, I think competition is a good thing. And so, if you look at the online registration companies, and you have some competition there. I mean, you have CVent is kind of a clear leader, but you have Stova, you have Events Air that have some very strong platforms and fairly comprehensive in their what they provide with that. And so I think that there's that's a good thing. I like to encourage and see as much competition as possible.
Mm-hmm.
I think the word monopoly is going to come up quite a bit in 2024. I think I think 2024 is going to be a big year for friction, where there's going to be friction between leadership and there's going to be friction between VC entities or groups. I think there's going to be a huge friction between actually in the industry itself against those that they see are monopolizing the market, as well as internally in organizations, those that are taking a look at event technology. There's going to be a friction between wanting to create change, and their leadership is only wanting to see it from a revenue opportunity. And so I think there's going to be a lot of conflict, and it's going to be an interesting year. So I think this is the first year post-corona coaster that everybody's going to either say, I'm going to breathe, I'm going to do it right. All my new ideas were put on hold until we got our numbers from 2019 back, which I don't understand. But and then the leadership is going to say, no, we need to make more money and blah, blah, blah. And those new people with the ideas are going to leave. And then that's where the innovation is going to be. New events, new organizations, all of that. But I need to do something fun with you, Corbin, before we let you go, because we can't let you go without playing some sort of event tech bingo. Like, let's bring up the names of those like companies that were from way back in the day, because you have this kick-ass thing that you used to do, which was the timeline.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, it's still available at my website.
I know. I just put up the link, but we gotta play like some sort of bingo. So everybody that's listening in, but like as fast as you can, just like name companies from way back in the day that were just like they're demolished right now, or bought by Cvent, or bought by someone else. But like, let's do this. So you start. Just
a RegWeb.
All the companies.
Yeah.
Wingate Web.
Wingate Web, yes. Yeah.
Who else? PlanSoft.
PlanSoft and that was a really creative idea that they had before the web took off, to exchange. And that's one of the things that's an area that I would still love to see.
Yep.
Is their idea is to exchange electronically event specifications, and also to create this huge database of meeting facilities. So then they had whole teams of people, and I was on the board of Confron for a few years with Bruce Harris and David Peckinpah and Dave Lutz, and it was just a really super creative time. And yet it was too early. It was before, it didn't work because you didn't really have the web then, and it was. And I'd still love to see, a standardized way for event planners to create event specifications and turn it over electronically to the hotels, and everything worked totally online. It's still, the hotels haven't gotten their act together to do it all the same way, and there's just a so there's
opportunity there.
Need to be done.
So you have Event 411. You remember those?
Oh yes.
See you there.
See you there. That's right.
Be there.
Be there.
Yeah. All those
and
RegWeb was another one. All those early registration companies.
Yep.
And that's what really changed. The early registration companies is what really was the killer app, I think, for event planners. That's what really
Sean is saying Quick Mobile. So if we talk about all the mobile apps, we had Quick Mobile, we had Genie Connect, we had Looped for a hot minute, nanosecond, right? We had, who else did we have on the mobile app side?
It's funny that you guys are talking about this.
There still are. Still, many of them were consolidated. Many things were
Crowd mics. Remember Crowd Mics?
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Think about all the companies that won the IBTM Tech Watch that either got acquired or went away. It was like the death knell for a lot of companies. Once they got to the top and we decided, yes, you are the shit. Right. They went away. They got bought. It was it. It was like we were killers.
Yeah. But on the other hand, we've had some real changes. Like Wordly, came in and is now used by everybody. Or the facial recognition technology that Zenus has done. That's those are game changing, and we identified those. But you're right. Some of them were. It just didn't work out. Their business, it was a really great idea, but it had a business plan that wasn't very good. Or
so maybe the IBTM Tech Awards or Tech Watch was the art of elimination of technologies that were not supposed. I remember doing some voting and looking at some of them, and some of the companies, they would put in a Prezi and that was their website. I'm like, dude. Do you remember that year where they were a Romanian founder and co-founder, and they did a video and they were sitting and drinking vodka on the couch?
I know. It was really fun because it gave us an international look of the new tech ideas that were coming up. And that was it was a really fun thing to do over the years.
Perfect. Well, this has been wonderful. Corbin, I'm not going to say goodbye from any of us. We're just going to say we're going to see you later, because I have a feeling that we definitely will see you later. And it could be at IMAX. It could be at any other show. But we love you tremendously. And your legacy is just a part of all of us. And I don't think we can let you go. So I just hate to tell you that, like you and Margaret, you can go and travel the world as much as you want, but you're going to have a home and you're going to have friends every single place you go to, because you have amazingly done a job of you've just widened your family. So we're definitely going to be in touch. And we just wanted to say congratulations and to celebrate you, because you deserve celebration every single day. And this whole retirement thing, that's just a plus for you. Mm-hmm. But thank you for being with us, and we adore you. And congratulations for doing an amazing, amazing thing for all of us in the industry.
Well, it's kind of you to say. Thank you, Dahlia. Thank you, Michelle. It's been a pleasure to be with you, and I will be around. You'll see me at an occasional MPI meeting, or I'll be planning going to IMAX America on a regular basis. And so I'll still be around, and still be somewhat active on the social channels as well. So
fantastic.
Thank you so much.
Awesome. Thank you. All right, we're going to say goodbye. We're going to see you guys next week. Topics TBD. And if you have anything that you want to talk about, please let us know. If you want to be on the show, please let us know. And Rachel's going to cry. I'm going to cry with Rachel. But
you better look at the speed when you get off. It's like going fast and furious. I don't know if you can do it.
But see you next week. Have a great weekend. Thank you.
Bye.
Thanks again. Bye.